Hi, this is Briley Elmore, and this is my case study for Truman Elementary School. Category 1, Problem Identification and Analysis. What I know about Truman Elementary. I know that it's a pre-K through 8th grade school. It's in a suburban community. It's the largest elementary out of 4 K through 8 schools. There's 700 students in the school. There are 3 classes for each grade level and 1 preschool class. Grades 7 through 8 are divided in teams. 15% of students have free and reduced lunches, and 5% are ELL. The principal has only been there for 2 years, but came from a school within the district. The reading achievement is a concern. Students do worse on standardized national achievement tests in reading than in math. Students lose ground going through school and from grade to grade, need stronger spelling and phonics program. There's little to no differentiation. Teachers use a basal reading program. About 1 hour a day is spent on ELA and is mostly whole group, which is inadequate, and reading instruction is not aligned with recent research. We need to model and teach more strategic reading. We need to revisit curriculum standards, and professional development needs to be provided for teachers. Parents are not happy with the test scores and the reading instruction. Parents requested that I address their concerns at the next PTO meeting. The district reading supervisor came to observe classes in order to recommend ways to improve our reading instruction. There is a grant opportunity from the State Department of Education, and the deadline for application is June 1st. What I need to know. What basal reading program is being used? What program are we using to analyze data? What interim assessments do we use at the beginning, middle, and end of the year? Does the interim assessment scores correlate with the state test scores? How does our test scores compare to other schools in our district and state? What are the teachers' and students' opinion on our reading instruction? How experienced are our teachers? The problem at Truman Elementary School is the reading instruction that our teachers provide does not align with recent research on what is effective. The basal reading program we use does not include strong phonics, spelling, or comprehension curriculum. Therefore, our students are receiving little to no differentiation instruction and are receiving low scores on state tests. Propose plan of action with appropriate strategies for implementation. Number 1, look at data from interim assessments to see if there's a correlation between the scores and state test scores. Administer perceptions surveys to parents, teachers, and students and share results with the school and community. Number 3, contact other principals with higher reading achievement scores and ask for advice and recommendations for new reading programs. Reevaluate our basal reading program, change programs, or give teachers flexibility to use other resources. Number 5, provide more reading instruction time, 1 hour for reading whole group, 1 hour for reading centers, and 20 minutes for independent reading practice. Number 6, establish a data-driven culture. Make sure teachers are meeting once a week to collaborate and improve instruction, discuss data, and create leadership teams. Number 7, communicate goals and solutions to the problem to all students and parents during the PTO meeting, which would be to increase the use of data for instruction and provide reading instruction that aligns with recent research to increase reading achievement. Number 8, make sure data is easily accessible on our school website. Number 9, provide professional development during building in services in areas we need to improve, such as data analysis and assessment, strategic reading, phonics and spelling, and differentiated instruction. Number 10, apply for the grant so that we can address our reading issues. Number 11, use an interim assessment like AIMSweb Plus to monitor our reading progress. And number 12, make plans for the future in order to continue the school improvement process. Strategies I would use to implement my plan. First, I'd analyze, interpret, and share continuous data. Second, I would observe teachers during reading instruction and provide support, professional development, and recommendations when needed. Then, create a positive data-driven culture where we celebrate our successes and find the gaps. And lastly, share a vision for our school, where we want to be versus where we are now. Are my decisions based on what is best for our students? Our students deserve the best possible education. The low reading state test scores are evidence that our reading instruction and curriculum is not effective. I'm reevaluating our basal reading program, giving teachers flexibility to use other resources, allowing more time for reading instruction, and providing professional development so that our teachers can start differentiating instruction and meet the needs of all students. We will monitor our students to see if these changes can help make a positive impact, increase reading achievement, and increase parent perceptions. I make all my decisions based on what is best for our students so that they can be successful. Resolution. All students will receive at least 1 hour of whole group, 1 hour of reading centers, and 20 minutes of independent reading practice. 1 hour of reading instruction was not adequate. We will also provide differentiated instruction to meet the needs of all students. There were bright students who were bored in class because they had to wait for others to catch up, or they were reading way below their reading level. The district reading supervisor saw same skill instruction regardless of performance level in the students. We will also use research-based strategies in the classroom. The district reading supervisor said our reading instruction did not align with recent research. We need to increase our use of strategic reading. What I was thinking, feeling, and valuing as I responded to the problem. I thought about the gaps in Truman's reading achievement compared to my school. I felt bad for their elementary school with their negative perceptions in reading instruction. I think it'll take a lot of work, time, and research to turn their reading program around. I value the school where I currently teach because my district and school gives us flexibility, plenty of professional development, and a lot of time for reading instruction. Unresolved issues would be the negative parent perceptions, the building schedule, because reading blocks should not be broken up by specials, lunch, or recess, and also the phonics and spelling for the upper grades because they missed it in the lower grades. How did I act as an agent for continuous improvement by engaging families and the community in meaningful, reciprocal, and mutually beneficial ways? I shared data with parents by providing a link on the school website which would include our assessment schedule and updated data from the assessments. I administered perceptions surveys to parents, teachers, and students, and then shared the results with the school and community. I shared our school goals and solutions to the problem with teachers and parents at the PTO meeting. How did I use the data presented to respond and communicate to a larger community their concerns about the instructional program? I responded by analyzing the data, identifying the problem, and coming up with a solution. By responding to parent concerns, I show that I value their opinion. I shared our vision and goals with the school and community. How did I use my knowledge of the policies, laws, and regulations that govern the school to influence and bring about positive change in teaching and learning that impacts all student groups? Since I made decisions based off the best interests of my students, I knew something had to change in the reading instruction. I tried to inspire teachers through professional development and a positive data-driven culture. I showed my interest in everyone's opinion by administering perceptions surveys. How did I establish an ongoing dialogue with decision makers outside the school concerning the efforts of teachers and students and how these decision makers can effectively influence and improve instruction and student performance? I used the district reading supervisor's recommendations to help us improve our reading instruction. I listened to parents in order to address their concerns and come up with a solution. I contacted other principals to get their advice and recommendations. I applied for a grant so that we can address our reading achievement issues. This is the end of my presentation. Thanks for listening.